know Dr. Cluze, don't you? Ron Cluze. Lisa Cluze, his wife, when I was in college daily in school, Dr. Cluze gave us a revival seminar and talked about the Holy Spirit and so on. And then he said, you desperately need to wake up early in the morning and pray. You need to love God more than you love sleep. And if you cannot wake up, ask God to wake you up because He will. Oh, by the way, you got to mean what you say. Anyway, so he said, that's life. And then he told us a story. He said, my wife came to me and said, God answers your prayers because you are a pastor, but He doesn't answer my prayer. God answers every honest prayer. So back to the story. Lisa says, oh, God doesn't answer my prayers. And Ron says, because you don't pray. Oh, yes, I do pray every day. I said, yeah, I know, 15 seconds. I said, well, I have a real job, not like you pastors. I hate that when they do that. And he said, no, you love to sleep in. She said, no, I just don't have time to pray. I said, well, it's a matter of priorities. And she said, but I sleep hard. And he said, ask God to wake you up. And she said, well, but I sleep hard. And he says, you tell me that God cannot wake you up? That night, she said, I'm going to ask God to wake me up, see if He would do it for me. And he said, you got to mean what you ask. So she went to bed and said, please, Lord, you know that I sleep hard and I want to have a life of prayer, to pray without ceasing. Wake me up. I want to start the day with you. I want to go with you. I want to end the day with you. When I go to sleep, I want to be with you. As Ron told me, day in, day out, 24/7. And she went to sleep. In the morning, by the way, they used to have an old dial-up telephone. You remember? And the old answering machine that you have a tape that you rewind and then you listen. And an old caller ID that has big red things, you know? Okay. So in the morning, the telephone is ringing. That ring can wake up people from the dead. I mean, it's an old telephone. And she doesn't wake up. And the telephone keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. And she, like in a dream, says, man, that telephone, it seems like it's ringing. It's not a dream. So she opens her eyes. And the telephone keeps ringing and ringing. And she says, Ron sleeps light. Why doesn't he wake up? He's dead. So she jumps over his body and she takes his pulse. And he's sleeping like a baby. And the telephone is ringing. And she says, my answering machine should kick in after 4 rings. Why doesn't it work? So she looks and the answering machine is on. And she says, let's look to the caller ID. 000, nothing. Man, who calls at 5:15 in the morning? So she takes the phone. She says, hello. And she hears the voice. Lisa, I'm here waiting for you to pray. Wow. And she said, I didn't believe Dr. Cluze. I said, you may be a pastor, but I got to ask her. So I asked her and she said, real. And she said to me, Pavel, from that day on, never, ever, 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 for the rest of my life, I'm never going to sleep in. I can hardly wait the morning to start the day with my Lord. He is by my bed waiting for me, and I love sleep instead of chatting with Him. And she said, I'm not going to miss this opportunity to talk to the God of the universe. I am not going to miss it for anything in the world.